the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Sorry, my camera went mad there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And yes, it's an early morning Sunday edition, but it's, as it says on tin, 15 matches unbeaten in the Premier League. Before I get into comments, guys, if you like what you see, please smash the like button. It really does help the channel up the search results. And also, it means the more people like it, it's sends it up the search results, and also it means people who haven't seen my channel before will then see it. It goes on algorithms, so thank you very much for that. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, free to do so, helps the channel grow, and also bell notification tells you when I'm live, have any upcoming shows, or any pre-records. I'm currently on 288 subscribers, so I'm 12 away now from magical 300 mark. So thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. It is much appreciated. Nail says, Big Tony boy, how you doing, man? Yeah, I'm absolutely great, mate. I hope you're well. And he says, take me home to the River Tyne. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, mate. Always. And Gary says, good morning, Tony. Good morning to you as well, sir. How are you? Hope you're well this morning, Gary. Yeah, guys, I mean, we drew against Crystal Palace last night, 0-0. Yeah, okay, we were a bit frustrated by the fact that we couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. But you know what? What you've got to look at in the bigger picture is, where are we now, 12 months after where we were from last season? I mean, 12 months on, this is a major achievement of where we are. I mean, if somebody said to me 12 months ago, we'd be sitting third in the Premier League with the best defensive record, I would have laughed at them. I really would have just laughed. I would have thought, well, what are you actually on? I mean, to think where we are, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's obviously not just, it's down to Eddie Howe and his coaching team, but also it's down to the players who have bought into it. For a manager to get his ideas across and his way of playing, you've got to have the players buying into it. And if the players don't buy into it, you're never going to succeed. So because the group we've got of players, they're all buying into it, they all know where we want to be as a team. And yes, okay, we've had too many draws this season. Maybe a few of them we should have turned into wins. But overall, am I happy where we are? Yes, I'm very happy where we are. As I say, I didn't expect us to be in the top 4. But yeah, I'm very, very happy at where we are at the moment. I mean, we've got, we used to have that song for the goalkeeper back in the 70s, Mick Mahoney, super goalie. I mean, Nick Pope's up there, super goalie. I mean, we just look at Nick Pope's stats this season, and this is official from the Premier League. He's 20 appearances for us, 12 clean sheets, 10 wins and 1 loss, in 11 goals conceded. No errors leading to a goal and no own goals from Nick Pope. He's done 51 saves, 9 punches, 16 high claims, 20 sweeper clearances, 131 throwouts and 108 goal kicks. That's his stats. He's had 3 yellow cards this season. and his long ball accuracy is 82% per game. So there you go. But yeah, that's Nick Pope's stats this season. Absolutely tremendous. He's been, you know what? A lot of people laughed, and you know, the thing is, even where a job that I used to be in, I had people laughing at me saying, "Well, why are you saying Nick Pope? He's not that great, you know." Do you know what? I think he's been absolutely brilliant. He's been fantastic. He's been the one that's helped us up there. You know, I mean, you know, this guy is just, yeah, he's just absolutely phenomenal. He's been absolutely brilliant. You know, should he be England's number one? That's the thing. Should he? In my opinion, on current form, I would say yes, because you've got to look where Everton are with Jordan Pickford. They're lying second bottom of the Premier League. Okay, fair enough. You could say it's not Pickford's fault entirely that they're down there. It's a team effort. But current form, he's the best English goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's better than Aaron Ramsdale. His stats back it up. His stats prove it that he's better than Aaron Ramsdale. He's better than Jordan Pickford. So in my opinion, yeah, he should be the number one for England. And Southgate will have seen him last night. And I hope Southgate's took a lot of notice of Nick Pope, because this guy, whether it was £10 million or £12 million we paid for this guy, I don't care how much we've paid. It's an absolute steal in my eyes. We stole him from Burnley because he was given to us basically. On the way he's playing at the moment, I would say he's worth a hell of a lot more than £10 to £12 million that we bought him. That's for sure. We've got a top class keeper there. And remember, keepers can go on for a long time. Remember, good old Peter Shilton, he was still playing at the top level till he was 43. Seaman's done the same, played till he's nearly 40. Nick Pope, stays fit and keeps himself healthy, which he does. Who knows? He could still go on for another 8 or 9 years yet. So, there's plenty of life left there in a goalkeeper, that's for sure. But yeah, I think he's been absolutely terrific in my eyes. Paul's in, he says, very good morning, Tony. Good morning to you, Paul. I hope you're well, mate, and thanks for the shout out on Twitter. Much appreciated. Nate, good morning, Chris. He says, morning, Tony and all. Morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. He says, just think, if we're doing this good at the moment, what is possible in the future? Yeah, that's the thing. The future's bright. And just think, like I said, if we finished a few of them draws off and turned them into wins, where would we actually be? We could even be closer to Arsenal, to be fair. So we are doing so well. And I'm sure this week could be a busy week in the transfer market for us, because our owners aren't stupid. And they'll be looking at that and saying, do you know what? If only we could have put that ball in the back of the net, we could have been better off by now. And they're probably thinking, right, let's go and see what we need, and let's try and get the players if we can. That's what you got to try and do. So who knows? There could be. And Fabrizio Romano expects us to be the busiest team this week in the transfer market. So let's see if he gets his prediction right. Mighty Mag says, morning, Tony and all. I'm still putting us top 4, even though it's half just the building process. Owners and Eddie, I fully trust. That's my 5 pence worth, lol. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I totally agree. I like coffee. Hi, Tony and all. Hi, I like coffee. I hope you're very well, mate. He says, I didn't get the notifications of the live stream today for some reason, and it didn't appear on my homepage. Oh, I don't know what happened there then. Because I did set this up about an hour and a half or so ago, or a couple hours ago. So yeah, I don't know why you haven't getting that, mate. Unless it's YouTube playing up again, because sometimes they do this, YouTube, and it's, there can be a bit of a nightmare. Nate says, I think the problem is that England aren't set up for a sweeper keeper. We have to remember it's a team effort, and that is the difference. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, with no Pope, when he came to the club, people were like, oh, he's not very good with his kicking, is he? But what you got to remember is when he played at Burnley under Sean Dyche, he was always told, you just got to kick it long, kick it long, kick it long, kick it long. Because that's the way, the Sean Dyche way. But because he's come to Newcastle, But I have noticed he does play a little few short passes, and they haven't been too bad at all. But his distribution, it's much greater, because as soon as he gets the ball, he's looking straight away to get rid of the ball. You know, he did it last night. He threw it straight out to Dan Burn at left back. That's and that's the sign of a top keeper who can do quick distribution. Gary says, I remember the Nottingham Forest song. Part of the lyrics was Jimmy the keeper with nothing to do. It's Poppy the keeper with nothing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Or Poppy the keeper with nothing to do. Yeah. And as I said last night, I mean, I've played as a goalkeeper myself, so I know what it's like. And I've had games where you're just not doing a lot for the whole game. And especially when it's freezing cold, you're just trying to keep yourself warm. You just jog around the box and, just trying to keep yourself loosened up and warm. But there'll always come that time when there'll be a shot and you've got to be on red alert to save it. And your concentration's got to be 100% focused. And that's exactly what Pope did last night. As soon as Jean-Philippe Mateta hit that ball, he was on there to hit it with his right hand and push it over the bar. Fantastic save. Ali Coffee, would you prefer an Arsenal win or a draw today? I would prefer Arsenal to win, if I'm honest, because that keeps us third above Man United. And just dent Man U's goal difference a little bit more as well. So I would prefer a draw. But if I'm honest, I would love to see Arsenal just beat Man United. Because remember, Arsenal want revenge against Man United after Man U beat them 3-1 at Old Trafford. So Arsenal want revenge. And they don't want to drop points. They want to extend that lead. And yes, while we are sort of near the title race, I wouldn't be too concerned if we didn't end up anywhere near the title this season, because if it meant we're just finishing the top four this season and won the Carabao Cup, that would be fantastic in all. That would be absolutely fantastic for me. I wouldn't be bothered if we didn't get near the Premier League trophy this year, but it just shows we're competing, and that's the best thing about it. I swear I saw Pope doing a crossword last night for the first half. Yeah, do you know what? He possibly was. I mean, he could have sat there with a pina colada, to be fair. LA Coffee Tony in the middle of our goal. I wouldn't quite go that far, mate, but yeah, definitely I was, yeah. But not nowadays, I couldn't do it. Knight says, Arsenal win today, hopefully. Rather keep Man U down to get higher up than up the table. Yeah, that's the thing. If Man U get a draw, they go back above us. But if Man United get beat, and see if Arsenal beat them 3-0, that dents their goal difference by -3 as well. So it just increases our goal difference even more over Man United. But what a place we're in at the moment. I mean, everything's just going right. And I mean, you just look at this, you see, and like, there we are, 15 games unbeaten, This is from the Premier League putting that out on their Twitter feed. Absolutely fantastic. And it just shows you, doesn't it, that, where we are as a club. And I mean, to have the 15 game unbeaten run, it's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, how much more can we go on this unbeaten run? That is a good question. We just have to wait and see. But how many more games can we go unbeaten? Could we stay unbeaten till the end of the season? Do you know what? That would be absolutely fantastic
if we did. But sorry, I've got an echo there. Hang on, guys.
That's it. I think. Yeah. So I mean, how far can we go on with this unbeaten run? Absolutely fantastic. And then you've got Pope there with his Save ratios. I mean, he's top of the Premier League save ratio with 82.3%, ahead of Kepa Arrizabalaga of Chelsea. Ramsdale, an England keeper, is in third place, way behind Pope on 74%. Then you got Leno, Raya, and Neto of Bournemouth. I mean, you know, that just shows you. That just shows you how good Nick Pope's been for us this season, and you know, long may this continue. So I'll just get into some more comments here. Find out where I was. There we are. I like coffee. Man U are also on an unbeaten run as well. Yes, Man United are on an unbeaten run as well, but as I say, we just want Arsenal to win this game just to keep Man U below us, which would be absolutely fantastic. And that's what we need, realistically. We need Arsenal to beat Man United and just keep them a little bit lower below us. And yes, it was a shame we didn't get there. We didn't get what we wanted last night. But overall, I'm happy with a point, because Palace, you know, the thing is, at the end of the day, Palace is quite a hard place to go to. And so, as I say, I think we've done quite well to get a draw down there. If I'm honest, Man U got a draw there, didn't they, the other day? So, yeah, let's just see anyway. But so let's get into the next comment, which is Nathan. He says, our defender spent more time in the Palace half last night than out the own half. It was ridiculous how penned in we kept them. Yeah, that's the thing. We took that. We took the game to them. You know. Yes, they had a couple of attacks in our half, but nothing major, I would say. Palace were looking more to try and get us on the break and stay back so they could try and defend and get at least a point out of the game. But yeah, that's how we're playing against teams now. But I just hope now. But I think because Leeds and Palace have done a job on us now, I think Eddie might have to look at it and just make a couple of little tweaks, maybe. Nothing major, just a couple of small tweaks, just to keep teams on their toes, because, you know, if not, teams are going to realise how we're playing, and they're going to start trying to stop us. And it's not great football. I mean, teams like Palace, yeah, they're in the Premier League, but if that's the way they're going to play, we want teams that you want it to be competitive, and that's not really competitive when I think a team's just sitting with 11 men behind the ball, because I just think that's. I know we've done it under our previous ownership, you know, but there's times we had to do that because we had to make sure we stayed in the Premier League. But the way we are now, we don't have to worry about that. We can just go forward and play our game, and we're playing our natural game, and we're just looking better and better and better now, aren't we? So, yeah, I mean, long may this continue, because it's just absolutely fantastic. The moment we're in it, you know, at this moment in time. So let's dig back into some more comments. Mighty Mag says, Tony, I think it's time to get a rest, and Isak to be up front. He's lacking something which isn't right for the cup game, and he means Wilson. Yeah, do you know what? I totally agree with you. I would give Wilson a rest, if I'm in all honesty. He hasn't seemed the same since he's come back from the World Cup. I don't know what's happened with Wilson. I don't know if he's had I know he's had illnesses. Yeah, I would just give him a rest. Maybe give Isak an hour on Tuesday just to build his match fitness up, and then maybe bring Wilson on for the last half hour or whatever. But yeah, I think it's time to give Wilson a rest, if I'm all honesty. And that's not to say I think Wilson's a bad player. I just think he just looks like he just needs taking out the team, just to give him a refresh and a recharge of his batteries. Maybe that's all he needs. Gary says, if Newcastle get the final, I wonder if Kevin Keegan will be watching. I would imagine so, Gary. I reckon Kevin Keegan would probably want to be there, to be fair. But yeah, definitely if he's not at the game, he'll definitely be watching, I would imagine so, because Keegan just loves Newcastle anyway, doesn't he? You know, he proved how much he loved Newcastle. I mean, he resigned under our former owner because he weren't happy about being dictated to what players he could have. And then not only did he resign, but he took our former owner to court and beat him in a tribunal as well for unfair dismissal. So, you know, well done to Kevin Keegan for what he did. And he'd done a lot for this club, not just as a manager, but also as a player. I mean, I remember there when he started for his debut, you know, back in 82. And then I remember when he left off in the helicopter from St. James's Park, what a day that was. That was an emotional day to say bye-bye to Kevin Keegan, because we were never going to see him in a black and white shirt again. We probably didn't even think he would have been back as a manager. You know, if somebody had told me that 6-7 years later, Kevin Keegan would walk back in the club as a manager, I wouldn't have believed it back then. But, you know, things happen for a reason. And, yeah, great guy. I like coffee. Maybe play both Wilson and Isak up front with the ESM. Yeah, could do. Yeah, could do. But I think Wilson needs a rest, in all honesty, I think. Do you guys agree? Do you think Wilson needs a rest? If you do, just smash your comments in the comments there. And, oh my God, the dual screens. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Some, you know, probably... I don't know. Technology for you, I suppose. Laughing, yeah, absolutely. I think Wilson needs to be rested. Something isn't right with him. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Kong. Absolutely, 100%. Mighty Max says, Everton's closer to going down. What a game joke. Yeah, I mean, Everton are in a bad state at the moment, aren't they? It's not great for Everton, is it? So I don't think they're going to last long in the Premier League. I think they need no disrespect to Everton, but I think they need, as a club, they need to be relegated because they can then reset that club and get sorted out. But you know, the Premier League's too much for Everton, unfortunately, I think. And I think if they went down, they could have a reset. They can get rid of all the big earners off their pay. Who's going to buy them? Well, I don't know, because to be fair, there isn't many players there that I would buy for Everton, that's for sure, if any. But yeah, the problem with Everton is all the spending that they did on players when they brought in the likes of Balassi, Sigurdsson, etc., Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they've all not been great players, and the club's in a mess because they've just bought badly in the transfer market. And that's the big difference between our owners and Moshery, the Everton owner, and Kenwright, because our owners know what they're doing. But them owners at Everton, they don't have a clue. I like coffee. I just hope Wilson hasn't been Southgated. He was there at the game yesterday. Yeah, I don't think so. I just think, to be honest with you, Wilson's just been, he's just not been himself, has he? Paul says, how are we all this morning? Yeah, we're all great, mate. Thank you very much. Paul says, I think Wilson's finding us a ball played into him. That's wrong. Yeah, maybe that as well. Maybe he's just not getting the service, which could be the thing. Some people would say, Houston, we have a problem, lol. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I placed a bet with a friend, top £10 on top 4 beginning the season. Lords laughed at me, Tony. Yeah, they probably did. And I mean, you know, if you'd put a bet on with the bookies at the start of the season for top 4, the odds were probably huge, but now they're probably short now. But yeah, it's like when Leicester won the Premier League, wasn't it? I mean, some of their fans put a daft few quid on them winning it at 5,000 to 1. But hey, they weren't laughing much longer because they got the money, didn't they? So well done to Leicester for that. Knight says, I don't want any Everton players at Newcastle, but if they did come, I'd support them, but I don't rate any of them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely 100% agree. Ali Coffee says, I also think teams have worked out that to get a result against us, they need to play more defensively and frustrate us. Yeah, they do. That's the thing. We're being worked out now. And remember, we've now played 20 games. So technically, we've played every team. And we need to start now realising that we now need to start tweaking things a little bit just to keep other teams, just to keep them on their toes. He says, similar tactic to what we deployed against Arsenal. Yeah, that's what Crystal Palace did. They did a job on us, and, fair play to them at the end of the day. But yeah, it is what it is. But, we don't mind. We're still 15 games unbeaten. That's the main thing. That's the main part about it as well. Guys, if you like what you see, please smash the like button. It really does help the channel up the search settings, so smash them likes. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have any pre-records or any upcoming shows. So I'm currently on 288 subscribers, 12 away from 300. Thank you very much indeed, guys. As I say about Eddie Howe, he's what a job he's done, at our club. And he has a little stat for you now on screen. There we go. So the most unbeaten runs in the Premier League by an English manager. Yeah, as I say, English manager. And as you can see there, Eddie Howe is now overtaken our former manager, Alan Pardew. Pardew done that unbeaten run of 14 games in May to November 2011. If you remember, that was a season we finished 5th and got into Europe. Our only season in Europe under the former owner. Eddie Howe has now gone 15 unbeaten from September 22 and is now top of the list. Above some good names in that list as well. You got Harry Redknapp on 11. He's on there twice, so it's John Gregory's on there at the bottom. But also, one of our former players is on that list, Stuart Pearce, when he went 13 unbeaten with Manchester City in April to September of 2005. So, you could see the top 3 is there dominated by Newcastle, 2 ex-managers and 1 ex-player. But what a terrific job Eddie Howe has done to this club. 15 unbeaten. How many more are we going to go unbeaten for? Like I say, can we go unbeaten now till the end of the season? Or will there be another bump in the road where we're going to possibly, not win the game and not draw the game and lose it? But, at the moment, the way we are, we look unbeatable at the moment. And I think if we do sign a couple of quality players this week, that could just strengthen us even more. And who knows? That's the thing. Who knows how far this run's going to go on for? We've got Man United to come at St James's. We've got Liverpool to come at St James's Park. We need revenge on Liverpool after what happened down at Anfield. So I'm sure we'll do that. Guys, looking at stats on screen, Eddie Howe, top of the pile now of English managers on his unbeaten run. Guys, what do you think of that? I think it's absolutely fantastic. But yeah. Comments. Kong says, I don't want any. Oh, yeah, we read that one. Gary says, we haven't played West Ham yet. Yes, that's right, Gary. I was thinking, I've just thought to myself after that, I wonder if you had, and then you said it, West Ham, yeah, because it was postponed, wasn't it? So, yeah. So we got West Ham to play twice. Yeah, good point, mate. Good point. That's our next game as well, isn't it, at home? I Like Coffee says, if we don't lose to Liverpool, we would have gone half a season unbeaten. Yeah, absolutely. We would have been, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We only lost to Liverpool because obviously the referee that day was quite biased, wasn't he, Andrea Mariner? Toon says, doesn't matter how many games we don't lose, it's getting wins. We have to have a big issue scoring this league. And it's not chances, it's the players not having the talent to finish them. the players have got the talent to finish. Certainly have. We've seen it with Almiron. We've seen it with Wilson. We've seen it with Isak. We've seen it with Joe Linton. Just too many shots were just aimed at the goalkeeper last night, and that was the problem. We didn't hit the shots either side of the goalkeeper, and we just got to make sure we're a bit more clinical in front of goal. A bit more clinical, we'll finish teams off without a shadow of a doubt. He then says, Tony, the more draws we get, the more chances there are to drop down the table. Give other sides chances to catch up. Yeah, but I'm sure, to be fair, I think Eddie Howe will be looking into this and be sorting this out, because he will not want us to be dropping out. Eddie Howe secretly probably doesn't want us dropping out of that top four. He wants us to stay in that top four. And probably behind the scenes, he's probably thinking, I've got to get this team to start scoring. He's probably as frustrated as anybody else is that we're not putting the chances in the back of the net. Ali Coffee says our players need to work on their shooting, either they're off target or team when on target. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. You just need to, you've just got to put, you just need to put that shot either side of the goalkeeper, and you've got a chance of scoring. But when it's headed straight at the goalkeeper, then you're just giving them a chance to just get it in his arms and say, thank you very much. That's great. You haven't got past me. So, and that's the way it's gone. Right. Let's see what else we've got in comments now. Ali Coffee says we have tall players. We need to work out on our corners. Yeah, this is what I was mentioning last night. I mean, you go back to the Southampton game last season when we went down there and won 2-1. After Chris Wood got the first goal, Matty Target took the corner. Corner comes over. Dan Burn, tall player, headers it back across goal, and Bruno backheels it into the net. That's what we need to see more of. More of the defenders at the back stick getting it to header back across. Because you header it back across, you've got more of a chance of scoring. Or if somebody's got to flail an arm out, it could hit an arm and you get a penalty for it. So, yeah, totally agree with that one. Paul says at the start of the season, took a while to get into our groove before the World Cup. We were banging the goals, and now we've had the World Cup. It'll take time to get back in our groove. Yeah, I totally agree with that one, Paul. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, we came back. We got first game back after the World Cup. We beat Bournemouth, 1-0. We then went on and beat Leicester 3-0. We then got 0-0 draw with Leeds. Yes, we lost in the cup to Chef Wed, but then we beat Fulham a last minute goal 1-0 last week. And yes, it's 0-0 this week. And I can see the point there, Paul. Yeah, it probably will take a while to get in our groove. And the thing is, we haven't lost any games. That's the thing. We're not losing. We're either getting a draw, so that's a positive, which is a point, or we're picking up the 3 points. So any point is positive at the end of the day. And, as I said last night, even if this season we didn't finish in the top 4, and we did finish as low as 7th, I wouldn't be disappointed personally, because before a ball was kicked, I did say my ideal position next season would be to finish 7th place and get in the Europa Conference League. And if we do that, that's an achievement in itself. Because the reason I said 7th for this season was because after last season, we weren't that far. We were about 7 or 8 points short of that 7th place after the season we had. And considering we couldn't get a win in 14 games. So now, things are on the up. But if we stay in the top 4, I'll be absolutely ecstatic with that. Having Champions League football next season, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But I wouldn't be disappointed if we ended up in 7th place. Yes, we would be in a way because we're not getting Champions League, but I wouldn't be personally, because I'd think, well, actually, my predictions come true. So that's the way I look at it anyway. And that's not me being negative, by the way, guys. That's me just putting a positive spin on things as well. Toon says, 24 league games, no goal, but Isak that is a problem. Almiron was overplaying his ability and he's returned to the old Almiron. Any player can attack and do bits in themselves. I mean, Isak, we've got to get... This lad's just come back from a long injury. I mean, we don't know what the injury was. It was something to do with the thigh, but we don't know what exactly it was. It was picked up when he'd done it in the Swedish training camp. Because had he not gone to Sweden, maybe he wouldn't have picked that up. So we don't know what their training methods are in Sweden. So we can't really comment on that. But, you know, the guy was out for a long while. He's just come back. We've got to get him back into the team. We've got to ease him back in. We can't just throw him in and expect him to work wonders. It is going to take time. And Almiron, he's just having to get going again after the World Cup. He's had the chance. I mean, he scored against Leicester City. You know, and he took his goal beautiful against Leicester at the King Power. But it's because teams are just noticing that Almiron has to shift the ball from his right foot to his left foot to have any chance of having a goal. And that's why they're closing him down. And this is where I think maybe Eddie Howe needs to change it a bit and say, right, let's stick Almiron on the left and give him a run on the left-hand side. And that's what I seriously think we should be doing. David Knight says, lost count the amount of corners, etc. we had and don't score. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I mean, we had a lot of corners last night and we just didn't put one of them away. Botman headed wide and but as I say, at the end of the day, we didn't lose. We got a point. We kept a clean sheet again. 12 clean sheets for Nick Pope. And, we're doing well and the only way is up. Rolly says, Tony, another clean sheet. Little disappointed we didn't win. I think we're building up to give a few teams a hiding. Well, if you remember this, the last time we had a couple of games where things weren't going great. Like we drew against Palace 0-0. We drew a Bournemouth 1-1. And then the next game we played Brentford and we absolutely walloped them 5-1, didn't we? And then we went on and beat Fulham 4-1 away. So, that could happen again. And I think not just Eddie Howe will be disappointed, but I think the players will be disappointed that they're not putting the chances away. And I think they'll be working hard on that training ground to say, right, let's get these chances put away. Because I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the training ground this morning, those players, and Eddie Howe's putting the video on and saying, look, this is a chances you're getting. Look how easy you're making it for that goalkeeper. Why aren't you sticking it either side? Why are you sticking it straight down the keeper's throat? And he will motivate them and they will look at that and think, yeah, do you know what? You're right. Why aren't we putting it either side of the goalkeeper? It wouldn't surprise me if Eddie Howe's got them in that training ground this morning because they've got a flight back last night. And, yeah. And then tomorrow they'll probably do maybe a bit of training in the morning or whatever on the afternoon. And then they'll fly down to Southampton. So, Mikey Mag says, if we get the final of the Carabao Cup, we will postpone the Brighton game that weekend. Yes, that's a good point, isn't it? That is a good point, yeah. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's a very good point, Mighty Mag. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, because it's on the 26th, isn't it? Yeah, you're spot on. It will be postponed. So we just have to watch the space. Toon says there's a glass ceiling on half the squads. So we are pushing now above our ability on proof. Look at the squad list. I mean, yes, we are third. We know there is some players at the club that still need to be moved on. But the problem is you just can't move these players on straight away. You've got to take time in getting rid of the players that are not good enough at the club and bringing the quality players in you want. Rome wasn't built in a day. So we've got to be on the positive side. While it's not great that people see that we've got Lascelles there, unfortunately Wolves won't be taking Lascelles now, by the way, guys, because breaking news this morning came out that Craig Dawson has completed his move from West Ham to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Wolves will no longer be pursuing Jamal Lascelles now. I wonder if West Ham want him. If they want him, come and take him, West Ham. give us 10 million quid and you can have Jamal Lascelles in your back line. So, yeah, come and take him. But, yeah, I mean, we've got to eke out the so-called not great players, but you've got to do that on a slow transition. It doesn't happen in just one or two windows. It's going to happen over a few windows. Maybe in the summer, we'll get rid of a few more. Remember, Kieran Clark's out of contract at the end of the season. His move to Sheffield United now permanently is in doubt because although he's on there on loan, there could be a transfer embargo on Sheffield United through some payments. And if there is, Kieran Clark's future's up in the end of summer because he'll be out of contract and he won't be able to join Sheffield United. Paul says, Toomey or third, stop being negative. Yeah, I have to agree. Alec Coffey says, is there a stat for how many corners we've had this season? I'm not sure. I haven't seen that stat, but if I can find that out, we'll find that out, or somebody in the chat may know. Paul says, share to my YouTube and Twitter for seeing live show. Tony, thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much for your support. He's a great guy, is Paul, by the way. Toon says, this content crossed and set pieces with Stoke because the fact is we don't go goal. We even look overlapping runs, show the lack of ability. Sorry, Tony, but we are punching it. Okay, you might say we're punching above our weight, but technically, I don't think we are. We are where we are because of the style of football we have played under Eddie Howe so far this season. And the football we've played this season has blown out a lot of teams. You go back to the Manchester City game at St James's Park. You watch Guardiola's interview after that game, and he actually turns around and says, this is a great point for City. For him to come to St James's Park and go, this is a great point for City, that shows you how good a team we really are. I mean, even he said, he says, himself and Eddie, as he says it, he says, myself and Eddie, we've put a great spectacle of football on today, not just for these fans in the stadium, but also the fans watching around the world and in the UK. And for a guy like Pep Guardiola to come out and say that about us, when we know how free-scoring Man City can be, that's testament to how far we've come. And he also said, yes, we came here last year and won 4-0. He says, this ain't that type of team no more now. He says, you can forget that from now on. So for a man like Guardiola to come out and praise us so much like that shows you how far we've come in such a short space of time under Eddie Howe. And we're only going to get better. And that's the thing, we're going to get better. Mark's unbeaten run will come to an end against Man City again. We have lost out on another good player, Maxime Baroni's going to Man City. Is that definite gone through now, has it? Because I know there was still not gone through, had it? But if that's gone through, then fair enough. I mean, not necessarily we'll go down there and lose the game, Mark. I mean, I think it'll be a terrific game again. I mean, we showed against Man City. We went 1-0 down early against, Gundogan. And then we came back and we ended up being 3-1 up. Yeah, okay, fair enough. They come back into it and got 2 goals and, but still, we just showed we can compete with Man City. And like I say, I've got all the time in the world for Pep Guardiola. Like Sir Mikel Arteta's and Jurgen Klopp's, I've got no time for them whatsoever. They've lost all respect from me. But Guardiola, I respect that guy 100%. I think at least he keeps things real. Paul says, Miggy and Trippier overlap all the time on the other side. Dan Burn does that. That's how he scored. He did the same yesterday, but just didn't score. Yeah, that's a fair point, Paul. I totally agree. Totally agree with you. Toon Revival says, draws on good enough results. There are called failure. 2 drop points. Give sides around your ability to surpass you, and it shows the front line need replacing. The thing is, you could see it in the players yesterday. They were frustrated. I mean, even Kieran Trippier said after the match, we were frustrated not to have scored a goal. Now, they're creating the chances but not putting it away. But one day, it could be just that one game. It could be Tuesday maybe, say for instance, who knows, that we've been so frustrated that we're not putting them away. We then go and score a bag full of goals against somebody. Because somebody is going to get it. And whether it's not on Tuesday, whether it could be West Ham when they come to St James's Park. You know, but the thing is, at the end of the day, we are third. We are 6 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. They've got to play Fulham tomorrow, which won't be easy for Tottenham, by the way. And I think that's at the Cottage, so that won't be easy for them. And like I say, Arsenal play Man U today. So if Arsenal beat Man U, we stay third. It's not all doom and gloom. It's all positive stuff here. And that's what we want. We want to see positivity. Let's not be too negative in how we're playing or how we're not scoring goals. Let's look at the fact where we are in the league now, how well we're doing under Eddie Howe and under the ownership that we've got now. Because in the past, under previous ownership, under a previous manager, we were looking at teams like Palace thinking, oh, we'll get hammered today. We'll get beat by these. Oh, we've got Wolves. Oh, they're going to turn us over. Oh, we've got Everton. They're going to beat us. Oh, we've got Brentford. Oh, yeah, they're going to turn us over. We're not looking like that now. And, you know, yes, we've all got opinions. Football's about opinions, and that's what's the great thing about football. It's all about opinions. But I don't want people to be too negative or too downhearted that we're not winning a game. But at least we're getting a draw. We're picking up a point. Picking up a point is still positive at the end of the day. And I mean, if I'm wrong what I'm saying there, guys, get it in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, I think we've got to be happy where we are now. Yes, we had a right to mourn under the previous regime, previous owner, previous managers. But, you know, we're on the cusp of something big happening here. And it's only just starting. And it's going to get stronger and stronger. So let's enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy where we are. Let's enjoy this roller coaster, because it is a roller coaster. But this roller coaster is going up and up and up. It's like a rocket. It keeps going up at the moment. So let's stay on course and let's see what happens come the end of the season. If the end of the season, whatever happens, if we don't fulfill things that we should be fulfilling, then yeah, have a moan at the end of the season. But while things are great at the moment, let's keep the positivity going. That's what it's about. It's all about being positive. Positivity at the end of the day. And that's what I want to see on that, guys. Mighty Mag says, we all want Leeds to win today against Brentford. They are catching us. Yeah, Brentford's way back, though. They're not going to get in the top four. When was the last time we won at Palace? I know we won at Palace in 2004 because Clivert and Bellamy scored for us. That was 2004, but I think we've won down there since then, but I can't remember the last time we won at Palace. Again, that's something I would have to have a look into and see if see when we last won down at Crystal Palace. In fact, I'll have a look now, guys. Let's see. Crystal Palace head to head. Right. Yeah, it may well have been 2004, but I'm not 100% sure, guys. But I'll see if I can find that out. Toon says it's called a functional front three. We don't have it. The front three can't seem to help each other score and playing 4-3-3. Is that a tactic base that uses striker to lay off wide players? Again, the chance are we're just not putting them away. But I think we'll sort that out. Are we the lads that don't shoot, don't score? strikers like to feed on pieces from Paris, but our midfield and full-backs have done many strikes. Yeah, I mean, look at Bruno last week. He had a shot from outside the box, didn't he, against Fulham? It's only a matter of time before some of these start hitting the back of the net, and when they do, we'll just win the games comfortably. Ali Coffee says, I manually counted we have 346 corners this season, so might not be accurate, but a rough estimate. That's a lot of corners, isn't it? Yeah, so absolutely fantastic. How are you, the lad says, drop 4 points for Palace this year. They weren't good in either. No, they weren't. We should have beat them at St James's Park, but we were outdone by VAR there. And VAR actually admitted that they outdone us as well. Did Wilson not help Isak score against Fulham? Toon Revival. You're going on the last few games. Yeah, I mean, Wilson set up Isak, didn't he, with that little cross that dinked over, and he got an assist for that. So, yeah. How are you, the lad says, Eddie, getting on shooting, needed addressing weeks ago. Yeah. But I think there's going to be some movement this week. Tony, can I answer that? They don't have the attacking mentality of any of the front three. Yes, Saint and Miggy work hard and ability and arrogance gets goals, but we never sign proven goal scorers on 10-goal men. Yeah, but like I've said, just remember, we have got a goal scorer now because we got Isak. I mean, Isak scored 17 in 34 games in one season for Real Sociedad in La Liga. So that's a 1-2 ratio. So we have got goal scorers. It's just getting the ball in the back of the net. That's the only problem. How are you, the lads? Mokoko signed a new contract at Dortmund, too slow to catch call again. I don't think it's that, how are you, the lads? I think what it is we've wanted him, but I think the problem is Dortmund have played hard ball, and they just wanted him to sign a contract. So I don't think it's down to the fact of us. I think it's down to the fact of Dortmund. And at the end of the day, it's Dortmund's player. And they've got the right to say, yes, we let him go, or no, we don't. And they didn't want to let him go. It'd be like us, with a young player. And saying, no, he's not going anywhere. We're going to make sure he gets a new contract. Because that's what you want to do. You want to keep your best young players. And that's what they've done. Fair play to Dortmund. But I don't think it's us at all, though, how are you, the lads? Mr. Negative above, give the owners time to build a squad. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I need time to build a team. Gary says, I think when Trippier takes a corner, I think sometimes he puts too much power on the ball and it ends up coming to ground. Yeah, the corner, Tony. Yeah, I think sometimes there's too much pace and power on the free kicks, and maybe just needs to take a little bit of pace off it. Again, Trippier will probably be practicing them in training and make sure he gets it right. It's not 346. I got the stats calculation wrong. No worries, Coffee. No worries, mate. I'll be the lads, Mustang it. Negative one sees poor shooting players. Swiftness replaces the key. Yeah. Totally agree. Toon says, in the summer, Newcastle need to find young front three and young players. I'm sure they will do in the summer, but you've got to get them. But it's not just the front three. They want it. The whole youth academy needs sorting out. And the owners know that, because under our former owner, it was just left to rack and ruin. And it's going to take time to sort that out. Why do they need a young front three, says Paul. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be a young front three. I like Coffee. I also think we've been over-relying on Miggy to score goals every game. Hopefully the current goal drought can push us for a new signing. I think it will do, Coffee. I think, if I'm honest, to be fair, and as Fabrizio Romano says, he expects us to be busy this week in the transfer market, so we shall wait and see on that one. Paul says, look at Southampton, all their young players. Yeah, they signed a lot from Man City, didn't they, as well? So, and, they've got some young players there. And that German guy, Bella Ketchup, or Ketchup if you want to call him. But, yeah. Don't need a new front three, maybe one and a midfielder and some serious shooting practices. How are the lads? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you know, we need that little bit of, just that little bit of creativity in the midfield. I mean, this guy was on the bench yesterday for Leicester. Is that a coincidence that he was back on the bench? Could we maybe go in with a cheeky bid and get him? Who knows? Because the end of the January window can throw up a lot of funny moves and moves that people probably wouldn't expect to happen as well. So could be we could end up getting him in this window, but who knows? It may be a summer window job though. In my opinion, I think more probably the summer. But if we did get him in this window, I for one would be bloody ecstatic. So, but yeah, this guy signed a new deal, so he's totally off the radar now. That's for sure. Apparently, we're still looking at this guy. We're still monitoring him. So Neves, defensive midfielder, but yes, he certainly has a shot in his locker as well, and he can score a nice little thunderbolt. So who knows? But again, we just wait and see. Love to get this guy in January. Again, is this a target we can get in January? I'm not sure. But again, like I've said, the January window, especially towards the end, can throw up deals. And if we lay the money out, Leverkusen may think, do you know what? We'll accept it because, we're going to get some money into the club. So again, it just depends on how much we offer Leverkusen for this guy. So we shall wait and see. Back the comments. When I get there. Night says, we are where we are due to the hard work of players, even down to the people that always get blamed like Longstaff. We win as a team and lose as a team. Absolutely 100% correct in that. That is an absolute brilliant statement there, Chris, and I totally agree with you, mate. Sentiment doesn't win games, says Highway the lads. That's very true as well. Paul says, shooting practice, how many did we score against Southampton City, Villa, Brentford, just to name a few? There will be plenty of times when we fire blanks. Yeah, exactly. The one thing we don't want to don't know is, I saw this quite a bit yesterday after we drew with Palace. Yes, I was a little bit frustrated and I said, we should have probably won that game. Hindsight, we should have won that game. But it's when you get a lot of fans going into real meltdown, like, oh, we can't score, we can't do this, we're going to, it's like, come on, guys, for God's sake, look where we are. 39 points, We didn't even have, it took us a long time to get to 39 points last season. So just be positive where we are. And that's all I'm saying. Live in the past now, blimey. Paul says it's more to the pain we can score, but in games we will fire blanks when it happens to every team. Yes, it does. Exactly. Knight says, like I said last night on the show, for the first time in a long time, I don't fear playing any teams, even City. I believe we can beat anybody. Yeah, absolutely, 100% correct on that one. Away the lad says, not enough shots. Like I said previously, said straight as they feeding off pieces from goalkeeper parries and deflections and need more. Yeah, that's the thing. Had we tested him more last night and he parried it out, maybe we would have got a goal, but we just stuck it straight at him, and that's the most annoying thing that we did, just pushing straight at the keeper, where if we'd put it either side of the goalkeeper, it would have been a totally different game. But yeah, totally agree on that one. Paul says we have scored more goals so far this season than Man U and Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Look at where we are. Look at teams that would normally be top 4 teams. Chelsea, where are they? 10th place, 10 points behind us. What a huge positive that is. Liverpool, they're 8th place. How far are they behind us? 10 points. Tottenham, where are they? 6 points behind us in 5th place. Where's Man United? 4th place, level on points. We're above them. Why? Superior goal difference. That is why we're above them. And I'm not just saying a little goal difference, it's a massive goal difference we've got over Man United. They are the positives. And I totally agree with Paul. We have scored more than them. And just look at the positive guys. Look at the money Chelsea's gone out and spent on players. If they don't make a European place this season, I just wonder how much noise is going to be made in the summer with them players. How many of them actually want to stay there because they won't have European football, i.e. Mudryk, i.e. Badiashile. So, do you know what, guys? It's absolutely fantastic. Let them rot down there. We'll stay up where we are now. Because this is why the Big Six did not want our takeover going through, because they knew this was going to happen. Probably not this quick, but they knew this was going to happen because the tide was going to change. And it's going to change because the tidal wave from Newcastle is going to sweep right through the top, that Big Six, that so-called Big Six, and we're going to dominate for times to come. So, you know, Amanda said there was a 5 to 10 year plan. We're well ahead of that 5 to 10 year plan at the moment. Let's enjoy where we are. Let's enjoy what's going on. And the main thing is, let's all be united as one, because that's what we are. Newcastle United. Absolutely. Paul says, many would not have thought we would be sitting 3rd January onwards and upwards until May. It'll be hard, yes, but we have a great morale and players too. Absolutely spot on, Paul, with that comment, mate. And yeah, too right. Paul says, only 5 teams so far this season has scored more goals than us, so we can't be doing that bad to the negative people. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look what we did to Arsenal. We stopped them scoring in their first game at the Emirates, I think it was. And, you know, and that's why they got frustrated. Their fans hated us because of them not being able to score. Their fans think that they should win every game at the Emirates and score in every game. Well, I'm sorry. Get into reality. And that's exactly what it is, reality. Tune Revival says, sorry, Tony, you're saying stuff from months ago. We've got worse since then. World Cup, 3 draws, 1 lucky win. Newcastle have to find Miggy. Thing is, Tune, right? We've come back from, I think the World Cup has done a lot of disruption and damage to the Premier League. If I'm in all honesty, the World Cup being in Qatar has took away the integrity of football, in my opinion, because the World Cup should never have been held in Qatar to start with. Always was going to be controversial. It proved to be a controversial World Cup. We've seen a lot of carry on over there, especially with LGBTQ plus people. You know, the human rights record isn't great over there. We know people have died building stadiums, etc. But World Cup, for me, should always be held in the summer, in June. We all know why the World Cup went to Qatar. Okay, people might say it was a success. I don't think it was. I think it just disrupted football in general, not just in the Premier League, but in other leagues like Ligue 1, La Liga, Premier Liga in Portugal, Serie A, and so on. So yeah, I think it disrupted football. And when you think you've had the World Cup, you had that 6-week break, teams have got to sort themselves out and get going again. And sometimes it takes a few weeks to get back into action, or a month. And it's like start the season again. That's what it's like. So let's see where we are come the end of the season. That's all I'm saying. Paul, should we keep gaining points until May? Wow, what a season. Yeah, I totally agree, Paul. Absolutely. Knight says, importantly, we're not losing games and would have before. It's been a year. What makes you so entitled to believe we deserve anything? You want to be negative and pick holes. You'll never be happy. That's what I'm saying. There's too many people are being negative. And look at the positives. Go back and look at last season where we were. And then look where we are now. Then you'll see the difference. You know, But that's what I'm saying. You've got to look back, at where we were last season and where we are now, and how much progress we've made under Eddie Howe. It just goes to show, how far we've come on as a team. And that's the thing you've got to look at. I mean, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring a screen, and then when I bring this on screen, this will show you a comparison as such. So I'll just take its comment off. Right, guys, bear with. So there's the league table from this time. Well, this is the 31st of January 2022, last season. So last season we were sitting second bottom of the Premier League. Third bottom of the Premier League. Okay. We had 2 wins, 9 draws, 10 defeats. We were 1 point away from getting out of it with Norwich City there. Now, you look at where we are there. Third bottom. Now, we're third top. What a huge difference we've made. What a massive difference. Now, let's look at the other end of the table. So, you had Manchester City at the top this time last season. You've now got Arsenal at the top. You had Liverpool second. You've got Man City second. Chelsea were third. We are third. Man U are fourth. Same place as they were last year. West Ham are fifth. They're not fifth. They're near the bottom end of the table. Arsenal are sixth. They're top. Tottenham are seventh then. They're fifth. I mean, when you look at where we are there, 18th place last season. In a year, we've jumped 15 places in the Premier League. 15 places. Just think of that. 15 places. And not only that, 24 points better off as well. And our goal difference is massively better off than it was last year as well. So when you think overall, I think our goal difference is plus 21, I think, at the moment, or plus 22. I'm not sure offhand. But if it's plus 21, you look at that. That's a massive swing from last season to where it is now. So if anybody thinks, anybody who wants to try and be negative, don't be negative, because look at where we were from last year to where we are now. Where we are now is a hell of a lot stronger, and we're in a better place right now. So I just wanted to bring that up. Paul says, Tony, did you set your LinkedIn up? No, I'm still trying to sort that out, Paul. I'll have to have another look at it, mate, because that's something wasn't quite right with it. Knight says, it wasn't long ago we were all having to go Arsenal for being so entitled that they believed they should be beating us. Now people are starting to sound like that, and it's stupid. Yeah, I totally agree. David says, who would you like to win today, Man U or Arsenal? For me, it's Arsenal, because I don't think we can challenge this season for the title. Yeah, I would like to see Arsenal win today, if I'm honest, David. And I think, to be fair, if Arsenal win, it keeps Man U below us, and it leaves us in third place. So as I would say, I would rather stick with an Arsenal win today, and I believe Arsenal will win, because they'll want to get back at Man United for what they'd done to them at Old Trafford earlier this season. And he says, yeah, I also hate Man U. Yeah, like a lot of us Newcastle fans, we all hate Man United, don't we? We can't stand them. Peter says, a little disappointed with only managing draw, but at least we didn't lose. That's the point, Peter. That's the point I've been making. We didn't lose. It's a positive. And yes, it is a positive result. A positive result is a point. If we lose, that's a negative. But anything, a point or 3 points, is a positive, and that's where we should be happy. Paul says, draw for the Arsenal game. Yeah, right, guys. I'm just going to bring somebody into the chat. There we are. It's John Sinclair. Good morning to you, John. How are you?
Good morning to you, Tony. I had to go on behind the screens because I can't say why, but something's happened. You know what I mean? But I have to be behind the screen today, if that's all right. So everything's fine, mate. It's absolutely great, and all good, all so far so good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Oh, there he is. John, we've got some people are being a bit negative about yesterday, John, right? Okay. Right, we're frustrated we didn't score yesterday. We had the chances to score. We just put it straight at Gaeta. We didn't test him. Now, the thing is, John, the positives we got to look at is Eddie Howe. We are 15 games unbeaten under Eddie Howe, right? And I'll just pop something on screen so you can have a look, John, for yourself. So there you go. Eddie Howe is top of the shots is the English manager. The best unbeaten run by an English manager is Eddie Howe on 15. He's overtook our former manager, Alan Pardew, who done that in 2011 when we went to finish 5th. And then, obviously, we've got a former player of ours on there, Stuart Pearce, who had 13. I mean, John, yes, I can see where people are frustrated we're not scoring the goals. But the stats don't lie. Eddie Howe we're on a massive unbeaten run under Eddie Howe. And from where we were a year ago to where we are now, people need to realise that this is a work in progress and we're not overachieving. We are just playing some bloody good football and we have caught a lot of teams out. Do you agree?
Aye, 100%, Tony, 100%. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people saying that we are being a bit negative for that because we're not scoring enough goals, etc. But you're absolutely right, Tony. I mean, Eddie Howe, if you look at the unbeaten run now on screen, right? He's done a fantastic job what he's done for Newcastle. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, we're unbeaten. We lost one game this season. He's done a fantastic job. I think the only problem is, though, Tony, is scoring goals. That is the only problem. If you fix that up, right, then hopefully we'll get it right. We will get it right. We've got to get a striker in. We've got to get a winger in. We've got to get a midfielder in, and maybe a right back. Until then, right, if we do that, we are back in the game. And I just wish the fans, right, our fan base, right, just take a chill pill, right, just chillax. We're doing well. See what happens at the end of the January window, right, and then we go for that. But until then, Tony, we just got to go what we've got, and we're doing well. What a season. What a season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it says it all there, the Premier League. And then we got Nick Pope. I mean, he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League by far at the moment. He's above Kepa Arrizabalaga of Chelsea. Pope's save ratio is 82.3% per game. I mean, Pope's having an outstanding season, John. And while I go on about it, these are the stats on the Premier League themselves. 20 appearances, 12 clean sheets, 10 wins, 1 loss, 51 saves, 9 punches, 16 high claims, 20 sweeper clearances, 131 throwouts, 108 goal kicks, and 3 yellow cards this season. His passes, he's done 384 passes per game, and per match is 19.20 passes per game. And his accurate long balls are 82%, John. So, I mean, a lot of people were laughing when we signed Nick Pope, thinking, why have we took him on? But I tell you what, Nick Pope has been fantastic. Even if he cost 10 million or 12 million, we don't care how much he cost. He's been absolutely brilliant, John. Take it away on Nick Pope.
He's been absolutely fantastic for us this season. I mean, he's one of the reasons why we're in the top 4. And 10 million quid for a goalkeeper. People say that he just said himself, Tony, why we take this guy on? Because he's been a relegated team. Let's be real, right? Nick Pope has always been a fantastic goalkeeper, always, yeah? And he's one of the best keepers in the country in a poor side like Burnley. So Eddie Howe sees fit, he knows what to do, goes get him in, right? Yeah. What a keeper, 10 million quid, you can't go wrong. This is why he's in the England team. And for me, he should be England's number 1 in my eyes, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, right, one thing I'm going to say, big up to Nick Pope, big up to Newcastle, Eddie Howe. He has bought well. And I've always said, I always give any player a chance in a black and white. Nick Pope, it's in a black and white, and he's been outstanding.
Yeah, he has been, John. Absolutely. I mean, Matey Mag's asking a question here. I did give my views on this yesterday on my show. I did a transfer show as well, so if you haven't checked that out, check it out. I mean, the Anthony Gordon thing, he says there's a lot of negatives from Newcastle fans about not wanting him. Right. Now, the way I look at this is we don't know what his character's like outside when he's been on the football pitch, what he's like in the dressing room, on the training ground. Now, Eddie Howe looks into all these characteristics of players. Now, we know what he's like on the football field, and yes, he's one of those annoying little players who can dive to try and cheat, to get penalties or whatever, or to get in your face and be annoying. But I believe there's a talent in there, but it's getting that talent out of him. But I would think if he signed for Newcastle, I would back the lad 100%, as I always will with anybody who signs. But I believe Eddie Howe could change him around and get him stop diving, not take too much of his aggression out, because sometimes the aggression helps players, and that's what some players need in the game. But just don't show too much the aggression. But I certainly think Eddie Howe could get a hold of him and probably make him realise how much talent he's actually got, and get him to get that extra 20 or 30% out of him as well. I mean, John, Anthony Gordon for you, I mean, would you be disappointed if he signed? Yes, I probably would, John, but like I say, I would back the guy.
Yeah, 100% Tony from me. He wouldn't be my first choice. He would have been my guy. But at the end of the day, I would trust the club, what they see fit. Andy Gordon, you're right. He said ethics about this guy. You're right. Yes, he's got a bit of aggression. Yes, he does dive a lot. And yes, he can be a bit of a shithousery. But at the end of the day, if anyone can get a talent out of this guy, it's Eddie Howe. And if he comes to Newcastle, like I said with Nick Pope, or any other player comes through black and white, I will back the guy. I will back him. I will support the guy, Gallagher, and I hope that he becomes a fantastic player if we get Andy Gordon, Tony. But I just hope that Kieran Trippier will tell him one or two things as well along the way. Stop diving, stop cheating, and do your football, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, we've got a couple of comments here from Toon Revival. He says, when Mickey has 9 goals, your striker Wilson 6, Bruno 4, another winger 1 goal each in 20 games. So Mickey's lost form, costing us, and Wilson hasn't scored since before the World Cup. Isak has 3 and 5 because we have an aging Wilson, 30 plus. Mickey's 28, Sant's injury prone. So we need a young front three with ability. I mean, right. Let's just say Wilson can score goals. He hasn't been right the last few games. We all seen that. Yes, he got the assist last week for Isak to head home late on against Fulham. Mickey, yes, okay. He has scored since he's come back from the World Cup. John's gone. He might be back in a moment. But Mickey has scored. But I think you're just being a bit hard on these players. I think just, to be honest with you, do you think the squad thought we were going to be in the top 4? I don't think they did. I've got John back. I mean, the squad probably didn't expect us to be in the top 4 this season? I mean, players do go through spells. All good strikers go through a barren spell. Haaland's been through a barren spell this season. So, that's where other players come into the team and score. I mean, John, what do you think about those comments from Toon Revival? I mean, do you agree with them? I mean, I tend not to really agree because I think, we are where we are because we're up there on merit.
Well, thing is, right, I mean, yes, I know. I mean, Callum Wilson, I'm a big fan of Callum Wilson, by the way. You know that, everyone knows that as well. But it hasn't looked right for the last 3 or 4 games. Yes, he's been had a bit of a bout of illness, right, and it didn't look right. He's missed a couple of chances as well. It's not the Callum Wilson that I know, I've seen. And look, at the end of the day, I have to be truthful as well, because he hasn't really been scoring goals. I can't remember the last time he scored. I can't think ahead of it, yeah. But Isak 3 and 5 goals, he's got to run right. But we definitely need a striker in January 20. We need a striker. Whoever that may be, go and get him in, because we need goals. Because we scored, 1 goal in the last 4 games, the league games. And that's been a problem, a huge problem. You said on Pete's show last night, goals was a real problem. We need to be scoring goals. Too many draws is going to cost us, yeah? And I'm a Biggie fan. I'm a massive Biggie fan as well. He's had a fantastic season no matter what. At the end of the day, right, I mean, he'll come good. He'll get back to form. Trust us, he'll get back to form. You got to keep running these games, yeah? You can't drop him because he had a couple of poor games, yeah? I'd rather have him than Murphy all day long. But we need a creativity. We need someone's going to score the goals as well to keep us in that top 4. Because at the minute, we're just about there. But we got to stop winning games now.
Yeah, I totally agree, John. I mean, Peter Tyson's hit the nail on the head. He says we need a mix of youth and experience as a way forward. I totally agree with that, Peter. You're absolutely spot on, mate. And we will get that eventually. LA Coffee says, what's with Kieran Dyer's comments about Botman playing for bigger and better clubs with history and pedigree? Is it even for real? Look, Kieran Dyer, I was never a big fan of Dyer at Newcastle, if I'm honest, because he was more injured than anything. And then he claims to be a fan when he comes to the ground. Well, I'm sorry, Kieran, if you're going to come out with comments like that, don't make yourself look stupid on TV, on live TV especially. Botman is playing for a big club with history. We do have history and pedigree, by the way. We are a great club, and Botman loves it where he is. And, you know, I don't care if he could have played for another club. The difference is we went in from other clubs didn't. Yes, a lot of clubs now are probably looking, thinking, why didn't we go for this guy? How we missed out on this guy? And it just shows you how good we were at getting Botman in over AC Milan as well. And we just want to say thank you to AC Milan for going through a takeover, which actually stopped them buying Botman.
Can I just say something like that, Tony? I didn't see the comments. I read the comments, right? But if Kim Dyer's come and say things like that, for me, he should shut the F up, because at the end of the day, right, comments like that, and this is a guy that used to play for Newcastle United, by the way, there's distinction, right? But he wasn't that great. Do you know what I mean? At this time, right, he's been with us for 8 seasons, he's had more injuries, spent more time on injury team than games, yeah? He could have been one of the best Newcastle players ever. He could have done, but injuries kept him apart. But I think he's a big mouth shut. If Botman has played for Arsenal, United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, would you come out with comments like that? Hell no. But at the end of the day, right, all these media and all these people who've got a top Newcastle United thing, right, you know, say that, you should play for the club for Newcastle, you can do better than Newcastle. Well, no, we're a project. We're a project club, and all the players want to come to us because we are selling a project. Go and talk to Bruno Guimaraes, right? Go and talk to him, right? And tell him about Newcastle United. I tell you now, he'll tell you straight. He loves playing for Newcastle United. And when you got a player like Bruno play for Newcastle, you think, hang on a minute, I want to slice the pie here. I want to play for this club because this club is on the up. Look at the league position, right? Third. We're third for a reason, because we're winning games, not lost much games, right? But like I said, Tony, right? These people like Kieran Dyer, right, they ain't worth even bothering, do you know what I mean? Because they're just complete and utter waste of time. It's just jealousy. They know the bigger clubs are rattled. And you said many a time, Tony, we're after them. Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool. We have got them, man. We've got them.
Yeah, absolutely, John.
Got them.
I mean, Paul Stone says, Isak's young, the new kid from Australia is young. I'm sure this summer we'll strengthen even more. Yeah, absolutely. We're still in for Matthias Rancer, by the way, so that could be another 18-year-old coming into the club. Alan Murtry says the team played well yesterday. We're not buying a full front three. Isak is the club record. He's been injured most of the time. I still think we are odds on for a top 6 finish. Do you know what, Alan? It's great to keep it. You've got to keep it real, mate, and that's absolutely spot on. That comment, mate. Well said.
Big up.
Paul says to I like coffee. I think he was just meaning he could walk straight into the teams like with Madrid and so-called big clubs. Well, if that's the case, then that's fair enough. Howie the lad says Kieran Dyer. He prays on Bruce, saying he's one of the responsible for Joe Linton's turnaround as he played him in that position in the first. So he reckons Dyer is brainless. Yeah, he is. The guy's lost the plot in my eyes. Peter says apparently we're after Souček from West Ham. Not heard that one. I'd rather not take him if I'm honest. BS says we were better with J7 in midfield and ASM on the left. Great season so far. Some transfers and push on from you. One thing I do want to say about ASM, which I've seen I saw yesterday. It just seems for some reason, John, I'm not sure, because he's had the injury and everything. Do you think he's lost some confidence, John? Because looking at him, he doesn't seem the same player as he was before he got injured.
It could be lots of things, Tony. It could be lots of things. It could be he's not the first team. He's not the main man anymore. He lost a bit of confidence as well. And where's this player been? I mean, I don't know if there's no one can figure it out in a minute in time, but I'm still a fan of him. I like him.
Yeah. Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? I like him. I'm not going to patronise the guy, do you know what I mean? But it seems to me, does Eddie Howe fancy him anymore? Does he really think that he's in his plans? Eddie thinks so. Eddie looks happy. He's not getting up a fuss sort of thing, you know. He's not asking for a transfer request to say now we're out because I'll be in the first team. But at the end of the day, if we haven't got faith in Alan, then he's got to go out and get a winger. I would have looked at Mukric, by the way. That guy looks super, super talented, that guy. Do you know?
Who's that, John?
Mukric. I would have loved to have him.
Oh, Mukric, yeah.
I would have loved to have him. Super talented him. But not for 88 million euros, by the way. But if we want to get Musa Diami, right, we could just say pay the money now, get this guy through the door, right? Have done with, yeah, because Leverkusen were desperate for the money. They need the money. They think that money is too much to turn down. And also, I think you touched on Thuram yesterday, right? We could have done with him last night. You know what I mean? We could have done it. We could have done with Thuram. I think pay that £8 million now. Get this guy through in, and then he could get us in the top 4 because this guy, you know, it's been proved in the World Cup. This guy is a finisher, and he is a strong, strong runner as well. Get this guy in. But back on ASM, would I sell him? I say no. But I did say back in the summer, this is a massive season for Alan. And if he doesn't fix up, then something needs to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, John, I mean, I'm a big fan of Alan St. Maxim. I mean, I wasn't criticising him at all. I was just saying, you know, picking up on what Alan's point was. But he's just got to push on, hasn't he? But I just thought I've looked at him a few games and he just doesn't look right. There's something just not right there, John, and I'm not sure what it is. I mean, it could be he's not happy with us. I don't know, John, but he doesn't seem to be the type that kicks up the fuss. I mean, but, you know, it is what it is, and we just have to wait and see. I mean, Alan says wins will come. Look at all the chances created. Would be concerned if we weren't creating chances. Do you know what, Alan? You're absolutely spot on there, mate. That's the thing. To get even a sniff of goal, you've got to create chances. And yes, we created them and we didn't put them away. But I'm sure we will rectify that. Watch, say, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but watch, say, on Tuesday, the players are that annoyed that they didn't score yesterday. They go out and smash Southampton 4-0. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I'm not saying that we're going to go down there and smash them 4-0, but it wouldn't surprise me if we took revenge on Southampton and smashed 4 past them on Tuesday. Because them players will be frustrated as hell that they did not put that ball in the back of the net last night. And they'll want to rectify that, believe me. And the goals will come. And just keep the faith, guys. Keep the faith. And Arsenal for life. Welcome to you again, mate. He says, hope you stay in the top 4. Yeah, I hope so, mate. That would be absolutely fantastic if we do. And just do us a favour, Arsenal for life. Make sure your team go out there and beat Man United, please. Because we don't want them getting any points. Chris says, in contention for a Champions League place mid-January is a fantastic place to be. It is, Chris, absolutely. June Revival says, sorry, Tony, they're having a bad season. Liverpool have 4 of their front 6 missing and an aging squad. Don't write Liverpool off.
Never.
Look, they're 10 points behind us. Chelsea are 10 points behind us. Chelsea have gone out and panic bought in the January transfer window. I would really hope Chelsea do not finish in the top 7, because that would teach them a lesson and teach Todd Bowley a lesson. You might want to go out there and play FIFA, mate, but proper football is not FIFA. It's not a computer game. It's real football. And if you think saying the likes of Mudryk, Badiashile and all them are going to guarantee you a top 4 finish this season, then, as Paul on the Toon Review would say to Todd Bowley, go and take your face for a shit, mate. Paul says their best defender's injured. Yeah. Joe says, we are going to dominate the league. We will in years to come, Joe. I totally agree with that, mate. We will do. It's a plan. It's a 5-10 year plan. And yes, we're ahead of that plan at the moment. Ali Coffee says, I'm hearing about Burnley's transformation to Championship. Be excited to see this new look Burnley in the Premier League. Do you know what? Vincent Kompany is a great manager. I mean, he done well in Anderlecht. But remember, he's worked under, when he was at Man City, he was a captain of Man City, and he's had various different managers there, Mancini, Pellegrini. He's had, Guardiola. So he's probably learned a lot from all these managers, and that's probably put him in great stead to be a great manager. And look what he's done to Burnley, because everybody thought Burnley wouldn't come straight back up. And how wrong are people now? Joe says, we are a great team, just haven't spent fortunes like Chelsea. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the thing. I totally agree. Gary says, it's one massive step for Newcastle United. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Alice, you're right. Yeah, welcome to the channel, Alice. If you're new to the channel, give a like and a subscribe. Thank you very much. Ches says, hi, Tony. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Ches. Hope you're well. Paul says, European football and cup football is achievable this season. Nothing at all being negative about. I mean, back on your show before the season started in the summer, John, my prediction, and I know you looked at me with you sort of laughed at first and thought, and looked at me as if to say, are you serious? When I said we will win the Carabao Cup and we'll finish 7th place and we'll get the semi-finals of the FA Cup, you looked at me and you went, are you being serious? And I went, yes, John, I'm being serious. That's my prediction. And we're close to a final of the Carabao Cup. We're not going to get the FA Cup semi-finals, unfortunately. And if we did finish 7th, then 2 of my predictions out of 3 have come in. And I'll think, do you know what? Maybe I'm a genius, maybe I'm not. But, I'm just joking, by the way, guys. But no, that was my thought before a ball was kicked. So, it's not looking too far away at the moment. And as Meatloaf once said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Rolly says, good morning, John.
Morning, Rolly. I'll be on the show this afternoon, and hopefully about, depends what time you'd be free today. Tony, you'd be free today, or?
I may be, John. Depends what time, though.
Right. Would you say, what time is that? 4? 4-ish?
Yeah, should be all right, John. Yeah.
We go 4. We go 4 o'clock.
Paul says, hi, Tony. Simple setup LinkedIn, which many will come and have a look to use your YouTube as your profile. Right, mate. I'll have a look into that, Paul. Definitely, mate. I'll definitely have a look into that at some point today. How are the lads? Dickhead Dyer on TV again. I think I'd rather listen to one of their women than him. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Bia says, John's on his way to San Siro to conduct some transfer business.
I've been miles away.
Ale Coffee says, no, maybe he's on his way to the Emirates.
Emirates.
Niall says, 30 of you people watching, smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. Help Tony share the content and turn on the bell notifications if you like what you see. Thank you very much, Nell. Much appreciated, mate. Gary says, 100% agree with you, John, mate.
Thank you, Gaza.
Jess says, hi, John. Alan says, stop driving, John.
I was hands-free anyway, so I'm okay hands-free, so...
Yeah. Don't know, my Alexa's just set off there for some reason. Ali Coffee says, John, just be careful when driving.
I will. Well, I'm hands-free.
Yeah. Mighty Mag says, hi, Chaz. And John, good to see you.
Thank you.
Foxy
Thank
says,
you.
people are quick to criticise. Fans are mourning Wilson wasn't starting for England in the World Cup 2 months later. Now he's not good enough. Just remember, without Wilson's assist, we don't beat Fulham. You're absolutely spot on, Foxy. Yeah, that's the thing. People have short memories, Foxy. Bia says, it's time for our great owners and Dan Ashworth to show how good they are. Yeah, I think they will do. Fabrizio Romano's already said he expects us to be the busiest club this week in the transfer market. Alan says, fuck a couple of draws and people are panicking. Remember where we are. Absolutely, Alan.
Exactly.
Foxy says, Isak and Wilson, two great players, just need a different type of player that's all about goal scoring. Needed that since day one, says Foxy. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gary says, well said, John, again. Kong, Night and Day Gaming, or also known as Chris, says, Isak coming back to fitness is technically like a new signing anyway. Hashtag just saying. Yeah, absolutely. He's like a new signing because he's not really played a lot. 3 goals in 5 games ain't a bad ratio. Paul says, I think the board are in talks with players as we speak, and I'm sure Howe said any transfers will be done at the end of the window. Yeah, because sometimes you get a bargain at the end of the window, and that's the thing. And he also said down to injuries as well. I mean, we keep saying this thing, Besiktas are wanting to sign John Joe Shelvey. Well, whoever the journalist is coming out with that, crap. And I say this is crap because why on earth are Besiktas going to sign a player that's out for 6 to 8 weeks with a calf injury and isn't playing any football whatsoever? So why are these reporters, I don't know if they're from Turkey, Italy or wherever they're from, talking all this bloody crap? Because there's no way, if you're a buying club, why on earth are you going to buy a player who's currently injured? You wouldn't. It just doesn't seem right. So I think it's a lot of
Tony.
Yeah,
It goes to show, Tony, it goes to show, do not believe what you read. And I'll tell you something else as well, right? Some of these journalists on social media, right? Some of the names I've never heard of in my life come on and say shite like that. It's just so laughable, do you know what I mean? So laughable. And you know what it is? It's just about 200, 300, 500 people come up and make rumours in the ITK or so-called ITK. We don't spread BS on shows. We don't. We speak in facts. And that is it. We talk about them when they sound on the dotted line or having a medical. That is it. I've seen some of those, all these YouTubers sort of thing, not just Newcastle fans, but all over the country, saying that we got this player, we got that player. Well, no, you haven't. We haven't. So stop bullshitting. Don't show shouting. Bullshitting. Do you know what I mean? Just wait and then do it.
Yeah. As the North East Derby kicked off, yes, it has. It's currently Sunderland 0, Middlesbrough 0 after 37 minutes. So that's the current score at the moment. Come on, the Borough. We've got Granny in. She's afternoon, chaps. Afternoon to you as well. First time on the channel, I believe. Please smash the subscribe button. That'd be great. Thank you. And the like. Gary says, I remember when Newcastle was 12 points clear of Man U, and unfortunately they went on to win the league, lads. Yeah, we do exactly remember that. And yeah,
sad.
We should have won the league that year.
Should have whacked it.
Paul says, Burnley are just like all the other teams that go down. Too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Prem. I mean, Burnley stayed up quite a while in the Premier League, but yeah, I see what you mean on that one. We've got the King of Qatar on the chat there. Roy, he says, all right, lads, he says, gutted with the away draw, but that shows how far we've gone. A draw away now is points dropped, unlike where we were for 14 years. Absolutely, Roy, 100% said, mate. And yeah, it even shows when the players are seen after the game that we're disappointed to drop points against Palace. That just shows you how far we've come as a team. And you've absolutely hit that on the head, the nail on the head. So you get your comments being starred for that as well, mate. Absolutely brilliant. People saying hello to Roy. June Revival says it's pre-contract. He says, John, it's pre-contract. Shelvey can sign for any foreign club, so please don't think he won't join them. It wasn't John who come out. That was me. And I don't know what's going on with that, but I haven't seen that it's a pre-contract. All I saw is they were in talks to sign Shelvey, and I'm just thinking more load of crap because he's injured at the moment. And to be fair, I think even on a pre-contract, I think it's dodgy business when the player's injured. I think you'd rather wait until he's fit before you start signing players. But that's just my opinion. Sorry. Roy says, just note my profile pictures from about 100 years ago. Well, we look good then, Roy, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
I like Coffee. Bruno post Palace match said a draw was a disappointing result, but let's keep positive. We're doing well and still unbeaten. Yes, absolutely, 100%. He's right what he's saying, Bruno. And that's the thing I like about Bruno. He keeps things real. And it shows you how much he loves the club. I mean, remember, that guy could have joined anyone. He could have went to Arsenal. He could have went to, Juventus, anywhere. But he came to us. And he came to us when we were in the bottom three. And he took a risk because he had no clauses in his contract whatsoever. So had we gone down, he would have been playing championship football this season. But we didn't go down and we're still Premier League. So, guys, if you like what you see, please smash the likes. It really does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. Currently at 288 subscribers, so 12 away from 300 would be absolutely fantastic to hit that 300 mark. Also, bell notification tells you when I'm live, pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. Yeah, so John, I want to get... while I was on this scene there talking about Juve and all this, right? So Juve have been docked points. They're now sitting 10th position in Serie A. We know Vlahovic is quite a good striker. I mean, is this a good time for us as a club, and maybe not just us as a club, maybe other clubs as well, to start circling them to get players off them on the cheap, because they're now 25 points behind Napoli, who are top of the league. So I don't think Juve are going to win Serie A this season. It's going to be very hard for them to win Serie A. Do you think this is a time now for us to go in there and see if we can nab one of their players on the cheap, maybe, because, players might not want to stay there now if they're struggling like that? What's your thoughts on the Juve situation? Because you watch a lot of Serie A as well, John. So, and if it is, I mean, I know there's Vlahovic there, but if there was a chance of getting any players from Juve, who would you prefer to have in our team?
I think Winnie McKechnie would be a good player as well in midfield. He runs about the 90 minutes. I think he's a decent player. I quite like him. Vlahovic, if he's going to be after Vlahovic as well, he costs 65 million quid. I think he's got a market value at 80 million euros at this moment in time, but I don't think Juve will get that now. Like, probably get the money back. So if he's going to be worth the money, be about 60 million quid now. And I'll definitely take Vlahovic up front, because this guy can play wide as well. He's got a lovely left foot. He can shoot from distance. He's good in the air. He's quick. And I'll definitely take him out of the way. Paul Popper, no thank you.
No, don't go there, John.
Bargepool. I will not touch Bargepool. Chesney in goal. I mean, he's decent, but he's no Nick Pope, I'm afraid. And for me, personally, I mean, the only one I take from that team is at this moment in time, because that guy could score goals. Massive fan of him, and it'd be a lot of money. But we definitely need a striker, Tony. We need a striker. And when you look at, if he's selling the project and say, look, Dusan, we're third in the league, right? We're going to get in the top four. We're going for the title race, and I think you'll fancy the challenge, because for me, people say the Premier League is the world's best league, right? The best league in the world. Me personally, I don't think it is. It's a money league. It's the money league. But for me, I'd just take Vlahovic. And if we can get McKennie as well in midfield, we're desperate for midfield, then if it's available, I think we should go for him as well.
Yeah, good shout, John. Good shout. Yeah, I would definitely have Vlahovic, that's for sure. I like these goals he scored for Fiorentina as well. So
yeah. He's first two seasons with Fiorentina, he didn't score much goals, but he scored 22 the following season. And I think that guy going for Fiorentina for Juve, I think Viola fans here to that, because he's not the first player to transfer Fiorentina to Juve. Roberto Baggio got transferred over there as well. He's another as well. And that's that really. And there's another one as well. I need to pick up his name as well. And that's that really. But if Vlahovic on the market, get him in.
I mean, yeah, he's only 22, John, as well. So he's youngest, he's same age as Isak as well.
He is.
But I mean,
And he's
this
young.
season he's played 10 games, scored 6 goals, and got 1 assist. I mean, that's not a bad ratio. It's a goal every 142 minutes. I mean, that's not a bad ratio. His player value is 77 million euros on SofaScore, and he's got a contract of June 2026. Yeah,
Yes. Long
certainly
contract.
not a
Long
bad shout.
contract. But I think
Foxy
Juve
says,
fans were gone. If the Juve fans, we love to lose him because the Juve fans love him anyway for his hard work as well. And another thing is as well, I don't think he fits in an Allegri system at all whatsoever. I think he'd rather play with a team that presses, and I think can press well.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Foxy says, don't be surprised with any Turkey club's transfer business. Remember, Besiktas thought Dele Alli on loan was a good idea. Nathan Redmond too. Yeah, true. I suppose so, yeah. And remember, their window's open longer than ours as well, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Gary says, I find it strange how Shelby got injured just before the transfer window opened, lads. Got injured just before the transfer window. Yeah, it was a strange one, that, wasn't it? Getting
Tony,
injured.
sorry, Tony. Chiesa as well. Chiesa on the right hand side.
Oh, yes,
It'd be
John, what a
perfect for Newcastle. Perfect. Okay, I know he's a lovely runner, dribbles as well, takes some shots as well, but sometimes he fires it over the bar. But that guy is a fantastic player. I love Chiesa, and I tell you something now, right? I mean, it'd be ideal on the right side with ideal.
Yeah,
and he
John.
speaks perfect English as well, by the way.
Yeah, he's 25 years of age. 55 million euros is his value. He started 1 game out of 5 so far this season, scored no goals, and got 2 assists. But yeah, I mean, you're right what you're saying, John. He'd be a great player. His strengths are his long balls. He can play midfield left, midfield right, or up front. So yeah, that would be it. That would be a good signing, Federico Chiesa. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one.
Smash it in.
Definitely.
Smash it in, man. Djivalovic, Chiesa, double. See it, lads.
Niall says Arsenal's also after Dusan Vlahovic, yeah. I bet there's a few teams want him. LA Coffee says, I heard Pogba's been linked back to Man United.
Bad move. If I was a United fan, I wouldn't take it, or not taking him back. There's absolutely no way. I mean, that midfield, right, looks a fantastic. Fridge, Casemiro as well in the holding row. You don't take Pogba back, please. Do not take him back.
That's why I was annoyed in the summer when they were saying we were linked to him. And I was like, please don't take Pogba. I'll tell you why I don't want him, because if you watch him, if the games are not going right, he goes missing, and you don't want players who go missing in games, and that's why I didn't want Pogba. LA Coffee says Man U looking at Vlahovic as well. Leslie says very late, we'll catch up. Hi all. Hi Leslie, I hope you're well. Foxy says, I knew something dodgy was happening when Barca sold Arthur to Juventus and Juventus sold Panjit to Barca for a huge transfer fees. Definitely some type of cover-up with the real fees. Yeah, you got to be right there. He says, I take Bremer from Juve. Yes,
please. Yes, please.
Fantastic.
I tell you what, he will have Bremer. Bremer will have Lascelles for breakfast when it comes to defending, I'm telling you. For breakfast. No, not that. A dinner for free. That guy, he's a baller.
Yeah, because I was wanting him when he was at Torino for us, because he's only 25 as well, John, Brazilian, but he's absolutely fantastic, isn't he?
Class that. Proper defender.
And he can play defensive right and centre half, so you've got cover there for Trippier as well.
Absolutely. But anyway, at the back.
Toon Revival says, John, Chiesa you want, but Isak's isn't 22, he's 24 this year.
I didn't say that. Isak's 23. Chiesa's 25. Chiesa, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I've always said the right players under 25, 26, will sell on value. I mean, either Chiesa's 28, he'd be flipping ideal because he'd be experienced. He's a talent international. He's a champion as well. He's a Euro winner as well. And like I said, he'd be ideal. He'll excite the fans at Newcastle. He will. We're third in the league. Show him the project.
I like Coffee says is Paredes also good.
For me, I think he's a 6 out of 10 for me. I mean, Zari, yes, he's a World Cup winner. I get that, but at the end of the day, he gets booked a lot, and he has some good games, has some poor games for me. I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for me. It's not what we needed, but if we do get him, he's only on loan, by the way, from PSG. So for me,
yeah,
I'll go better with someone with Paredes. No disrespect.
Current score in the Championship at the Stadium of Shite: Sunderland 0, Middlesbrough 0 in the we are T's derby. So there we go, guys. That's your half-time result there. Come on, Borough. Michael Carrick is a Jody. Get it stepped up in the second half and make sure Borough leave with 3 points. Toon Revival says Bremer defo. Yes, he's right-footed centre back. Yep, we need a right-footed centre back.
We do. We need cover. We need to have 4 defenders. We need to have 2 defenders or 2 players in the same position. That's what we need.
Yeah, I totally agree, John. That's what we need, and let's hope we do get somebody. We do need some cover. I mean, especially if Lascelles does leave the club, then we definitely do need cover. That's for sure in that part. I mean, I've not seen a lot being mentioned about this guy, Evan and Dicker from Eintracht Frankfurt. It's a bit of a mouthful when you say that, isn't it? Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, and Dicker, Eintracht Frankfurt.
He's out of contract in June this year. I've not seen nobody linked with this guy. I mean, yes, we know he plays with a left foot, but Botman can actually play with both feet, by the way. He can play with right foot and left foot, so he's not predominantly a left-footed centre-back, Botman. I mean, Evan and Dicker, he can play defensive left or central defence. Do you know what? I would love to get this guy into the club because I think he's a terrific defender. His ball control's pretty good. He's got no outstanding weaknesses, and his strengths, his positioning, his defensive positioning. I mean, why is nobody in for this guy, John? Because I've not seen anybody linked with him.
Beats me. I think I spoke to Luca the other day, and he said that Arsenal linked to him as well. But I looked at it, I couldn't find it. But for me personally, I mean, I'd take him. He's quick. He's a good defender. Again, is a Europa League winner as well. Would he beat Rangers as well? And what he does, he's just so quick on the ball. He can defend. And look, he's a French international. What else can I say? But I don't understand why he's not being picked up, because he's a decent defender. He really, really is. And he only cost something like 8 million from Auxerre. I think he played for Auxerre. He left Auxerre to join Frankfurt at a young age. So, look, I don't know what's happened at the Bundesliga outfit. I don't know what's going on there, but obviously they haven't often enough money, sort of thing. So I think Frankfurt's getting a bit peed off of him, sort of thing, about contracts and this and that and talk about. But they need to get that fixed up very quickly, otherwise they could lose someone on the free. But we definitely need another defender as well. We need to get quality defenders, because some of the players we've got at the club, right, are still aren't good enough. Lascelles, Murphy, Fiesa, get rid of them lot, right? We need to uproot the squad. We need to revamp the squad as well if you're going to take it to the next level. But again, we've got to look at these players now, or if not, try and get out of contract players in January. Try and get Ndika for 10 million quid, maybe. Try and get Turan for 7-8 million quid, maybe. You don't have to break the bank, Tony, to get these players coming in. Do you know what I mean? Get them in, and then that will definitely improve us.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Totally agree. LA Coffee says Pogba was out the UVA squad with his foot injury, but took selfies on a skiing trip. Yeah. Toon says,
that as well.
Do Juventus still own that Swedish kid? It's Spurs,
Kulusevski. He's a good player. I like Kulusevski.
Is he on loan, is he? Or is he?
I think he's on an 18-month loan at Tottenham. I think Spurs will probably get him permanently when it comes, him and Bentancur. And I tell you what, talk about Bentancur, that's the midfield I love at Newcastle. That guy can press, that guy has improved since come to the Premier League. I'll tell you what, Bentancur would be a difference on midfield, but he loves Spurs, and I think he's on a permanent deal there.
Yeah, I think he might be, John. But Kulusevski's only 22. I mean, yeah, he is a good player, isn't he? He's left-footed as well.
I'll call him Decky. Dijan, but I'll call him Decky.
His playmaking's his strengths, but his weaknesses are ground duels and aerial duels. But he can play attacking midfield, right wing, or striker. But you're right, he is on loan at Spurs. He on a €10 million loan spell until this June, till this summer. I mean, the thing is, though, he may not sign for Spurs, John, because there's a lot of turmoil there. And I mean, Conte's contract runs out the end of the season, and there's been no mention of it being renewed or anything. And the way Conte keeps whinging at Daniel Levy about getting players and money and all this, he might be thinking, I don't want to be part of this team. So I wouldn't say it was nailed on that he'll probably join Spurs. He could go elsewhere. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
go on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what do you make of that? I mean, like I say, the Conte situation, that might just pull him off altogether. He might say, I'm going back to Italy.
Well, Conte knew the situation when he went to Tottenham. I mean, he turned them down. What I don't get is, right, Conte turned it down because he didn't match his ambition, yeah? A couple months later, he goes to Spurs thinking he can go there with his eyes open, yeah? I'm amazed Conte is still there. I mean, I like Conte, don't get us wrong, but he's not getting the players that he needs. But he's done 180 million quid, yeah? He hasn't improved the back three. He lost the back three, yeah? He wants to get players like Skriniar. He wanted to get Dumfries as well. And he also wanted to get Bastoni as well. They'll play in the back three at Inter Milan, who I love to have in the back three at Newcastle. But at the end of the day, right, he couldn't get them, couldn't get the job done. And it's Levy's the problem. Levy's not really back where he did, 150, 180 million quid. But he's got 6 months left on his contract. And let's just say, it's safe to say, that Conte will be out of Tottenham. Let's be real, because at the end of the day, he's not getting what he's wanting. And he also said about Newcastle, saying that he didn't want to mention Newcastle's name, but he basically said that we should not be in the top 4. We should not even be there because he thinks that Spurs are a better club. But he's not getting it back in, Tony. He's not. And let's hope it stays that way, because I think the Spurs team ain't that great. Even Son is not doing it whatsoever. This guy's confidence is shot to pieces, man. And Harry Kane, I think he'd be off in the summer. I really do think he'd be off in the summer. And that club, though I say it, and I hate to say it, he'd be off to Man U.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Tottenham are where they are because they're not good enough. Simple as.
They can't defend. Look, you got players. You got the 3 centre backs like Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, and Tanguy as well. Oh, and by the way, Kunti and Romero. Kunti Romero, right? I like that defender. I really do. But I think Kunti Romero has been badly let down by the defence around him. I think Christian Romero is their best defender, and they need to get 2 more quality defenders along like him. Yeah, and that is the problem. I think he's been regressed, and I feel sorry for the kid because he doesn't need this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Peter says Man U found their level with Weghorst, surely. And Howie the lad says, well, Weghorst better than Wood. He's not a bad striker, is he? Howie the lad says, and Dicker is class, absolutely. Toon says, Arsenal won't go for Vlahovic. They went all out for Jesus. Yeah. Peter says, anyone's better than Wood. Leslie says,
Leslie,
we were looking at Dicker last season. Yes, we were. Absolutely. Sunderland was in the playoffs at one point. Now they have slipped down a bit, lads, says Gary. Yeah. Well, they find their feet in the Championship. Love to see them slip back down to League One, but I don't think it's going to happen. However, the lad says that Juba Akpom Borough striker might be good backup for us. Give them Darlow. Darlow's on his way to Hull, as far as we are aware at the moment.
Yeah.
He's doing it in the Championship. Akpom. Can he do it in the Premier League? That's the difference. Foxy says Frankfurt offered him a 3-year deal on more money, but then Dicker and his agent are wanting $200,000 a week.
Let me be clear on this, right? Frankfurt will not pay $200,000 a week. There's absolutely no way, Jose. The Bundesliga club, right, will not spend beyond their means. Some of the clubs, right, in the Bundesliga are owned by the fans, right, and they will not allow their club to be in debt. and they're run. Some of these clubs in the Bundesliga run. They're a real spot on run, yeah. And that's why they do not want to spend beyond their means. But if he's going to get 200k a week at Frankfurt, then good luck. He will not be getting that at all. So I'd be surprised. But then again, what do we know?
Yeah. Toon Revival says, we have an agent squad in key areas. That's why I want new signs to build for the future. Yeah, and we will get them there. As I said, the transfers, when you eke out the players that are not good enough, it takes time. It's going to take a few windows. I said it would take probably up to 4 windows maybe to eke out all these players, but we will eventually get rid of them, and we will have our own team. And the ones who are there are the ones who are there for the future as well. So just give it time. And he goes on to say, that's it, Tony. If Conte leaves Spurs, they won't sign them. Yeah, I don't think they will either. I Like Coffee says, apparently Levy has slashed Harry Kane's transfer price to 85 million from 150 million. Clown. And that's in the Mirror. Yeah, I mean, he's out. He's got 12 months on his contract in the summer, so he'll have to take a pay cut. Well, he'll have to take a cut on his price tag, won't he?
I tell you what, though, 85 million quid, he'd be 30 then, will he? So they'd probably be bulking about paying 85 mil for a 30-year-old at a time. But you know what? If he walks around the fee, Spurs fans will be absolutely furious. I'm telling you that for now.
Do you know what, John? I would love Harry Kane at Newcastle. Do you know why? Just so he can beat Shearer's record in a black and white shirt rather than a different coloured shirt.
Exactly. And I think he'll do well at Newcastle. He'll get the service, but
he would.
He need better wingers. He's going to cross the ball as well, and that's what we need.
June says Spurs are a team in free fall, no investment. Levy's just a different version of Ashley. Yeah, he is. I mean, Daniel Levy shows his true colours. When he didn't want our takeover going through, he told the Premier League not to put it through. But then as soon as he said that, he went straight to Saudis and Amanda and said, well, come by Tottenham instead. And they told him where to go. But it's not just Levy who's in charge of the club. The actual owner of the club is Joe Lewis. But he's a silent guy and you never really see much from him at all. It's all Daniel Levy, the front of the club. Leslie says, anything in the rumour that Tuchel has been lined up as an ex-Spurs manager? I don't know. I've not seen that.
It's been spreading about a lot as well, sort of thing, about Tuchel being an ex-Spurs manager. I don't know if he's going to go there because I think Tuchel loves Chelsea too much. And I think some of us that advise him don't go there because they're rivals. But do you know what? I mean, in future years, Thomas Tuchel might come to us. Do you know what I mean? You never know. I mean, no disrespect to Eddie Howe. I love Eddie Howe. I hope he stays there for a long, long time. But if they want to take it to the next level, is he our guy? That is the thing. Do you know what I mean? I still love to have Diego Simeone here, though.
Oh yeah, John, that would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it?
Would you take him? Would you take Diego?
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah. But at the moment, I wouldn't because I think Eddie Howe's doing a terrific job. So absolutely. I don't want Eddie Howe changed. That's the
Definitely
thing. Definitely
not. But if he does, like say, he becomes England manager, sort of, like I hope, pray to God it does. I want to hear for the next 10 years, right? Then you're gonna have to look at elite managers called Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Whoever comes in and take over Eddie Howe's job, it will have to be an elite world class manager.
Yeah, I Like Coffee says, do you think Harry Kane can help us with our corners and set pieces? Yeah, he could do.
Good.
June says, a team that puts profit before success on the pitch will fail. Without investment in their future, i.e. Spurs, Arsenal for 10 years, not Chelsea and maybe not Liverpool, they just need a new midfield. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. He says, but the thing is with Kane, he's in the end stage of his career. He's 30. Teams don't pay that for his age. And he's on a goal drought last 2 seasons under Conte. Yeah, that's the thing. He's 30, isn't he? Paul says, I think we should go for Wilfred Gnonto in the summer from Leeds. Would you agree with that one, Jim?
He's quite direct. He's quite direct, isn't he? When he gets the ball, he's very direct with the ball as well. And he's coming on. I think he's got to do it again at Leeds, sort of thing, because it stays up. He's got to do it again. And if he becomes a fantastic player, then I'm sure. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Harry Kane's 29. He's 30 in July this year. He's got 15 goals in 20 games so far this season, including 1 assist. I mean, his value is 98 million euros according to SofaScore. So there's your question. There's your answer to that one, Gary. He's 30 in July. Toon says, John Tuchel and Eddie are around the same age. I don't want Simeone. He's a defender, waste time manager. I want a free attacking manager like Klopp when he first come to Liverpool. What's your response to that?
Well, Diego Simeone won 2 La Liga titles. He's won 2 Europa leagues, if the member says it rightly. Don't forget they won the Spanish Cup at the Bernabeu as well. And look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, I have no problems with Simeone coming in if he's available. But I hear that he's leaving Atletico Madrid at the end of the season. That's what I'm hearing. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm hearing. But he could be away at the end of the season, and he's made that decision. I could be wrong on that. But at the end of the day, Eddie's 45, Tuchel's about 50, I think. Tuchel's 50, I think. So at the end of the day, I mean, I'd rather keep Eddie Howe for the next 10 years. I'd rather do that because I think this guy is going to be one of the best managers in world football. If he wins a trophy, if he takes us to Champions League. And let's be real. And I can see two of ours comments again. He said, John, yes, to play boring partner bus, but you sorry fans won't have that. For me.
You have anything that wins your games, John. That's what you have.
Yeah, winning football is great. Do you know what I mean? And it's just that, really. I mean, look what he's done to Atletico Madrid. He's done an unbelievable job at Atletico Madrid. They could have sacked him earlier on, but no. He's been at that club for what? 12 seasons at Atletico?
I mean, you go back to the era of George Graham of Arsenal when he had the tagline of boring Arsenal, because Arsenal used to just hit on 1-0 wins under George Graham, but it won them the league, though. That's the thing, John. That's the difference.
That is that. I mean, look, they win trophies that under George Graham. You know, won two league titles, I believe, 1989, 91.
Yeah.
And hey ho. But what can I say? But like I said, you know, people are discussing about it. You know what I mean? But you never know. See what happens. But Eddie Howe's our manager, and I'm happy with Eddie Howe.
I like Coffee says, Eddie will surpass Diego Simeone with us at Newcastle. Hope it happens. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Totally agree on that one. Gary says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Eddie Howe can become the next Alex Ferguson, win at everything. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. I totally agree with you, mate. I don't want Eddie Howe replaced anytime soon. So
I don't either. I don't either.
Foxy says, I'd stay well away from Kane. Only downhill from here for him. Great goal scorer, but not good value for money. Go all out and get Vitor Roque.
He plays for Atletico Paranaense, I believe. Foxy, am I right? And I tell you what, I mean, we need to. I've heard good things about Vitor Roque, very good things about him, and it could be, I believe, it's the new Ronaldo. And I tell you what, go and get him in, right? As a future, I hope Dan Ashall gets him, and I think it'd be a cracking buy. Young lad as well.
Yeah, he's 17.
Can't sign first until he's 18.
Yeah. He's no outstanding strengths. Weaknesses is aerial duels and ball control. 29 games, started 14 of those. He scored 5 goals and he's got 2 assists as well. So he's just a young lad. He's just coming through the ranks there, isn't he? But he certainly will be one for the future. Knight says, didn't Eddie go and study under Simeone for a bit? He learned from him. Eddie will be here for a long time. No point discussing it all. Yes, he did. He saw him. He saw Sarri. He stood on the touchline with Klopp on the training ground as well. He learned from these guys, and that's what's made Eddie Howe a better manager.
And I think that
Eddie Howe didn't do what some managers do once they leave the club. He didn't just sit on his backside on the sofa watching Sky Sports News every day. He thought, no, I'm going to get out there. I want to learn more. I want to learn how I become a better manager. And that's exactly what Eddie Howe did. He went out and he became a better manager. And he's shown it now.
Absolutely. And you know what it is, Tony? Eddie is my manager. He is my manager. And I'll tell you what as well, he'll be here for a long, long time. So really I shouldn't be mentioning other managers, but at the end of the day, he'll be here for a long time. I'll agree with Gary, by the way, and a few others too.
Still currently 0-0 in the We Are Tyne derby at the moment. Got team news for you for Leeds and Brentford. Leeds are going with Melia, Aylin, Koch, Woba, Strike, and then Rocker, Taylor Adams, Jack Harrison, Brendan Aronson, Ganonto, and Rodrigo. That's for Leeds this afternoon against Brentford, who have David Raya in goal, Aya, Pinnock, Ben Mee, Robertslav, De Silva, Christian Norgard, Matthias Jensen, Rico Henry, Ivan Toney, and Mbuemo up front for Brentford. I think Brentford will win that game, in all honesty. Paul says Atletico do score some goals, but I think the defensive side comes in the Champions League. Yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely right. Toon says what Eddie is doing now with us is what he learned off Simeone, but we attack this club as we built it on the motto, we score one more than you. Yeah. He says people say that he's the next coming of the R9 Ronaldo, but there's been a lot of them and failed, aka Adriano, who is now a gangster in Brazil. Don't know anything about that one.
I don't need that, but that's not
Adriano was ex until his dad died, says Paul Stones. And Coffee says, what? Adriano is a gangster now, is he? Well, I don't know anything. Foxy says, Vita Roque is 18 in 1 month. Sign now and keep him at Paranesi until the summer. And Foxy says, Adriano was an incredibly talented in his prime, unstoppable, but unfortunately mentally fell to pieces after his dad died. There we go. So Foxy knows the world. Yeah,
so sad,
absolutely.
man. So sad, man, because he could have made it. You know what I mean? Brilliant for Inter Milan. Let's be real. Scored plenty of goals at Inter. But I'm afraid I see it. It's just like Foxy and Paul said, it just hasn't been the same, and that's sad, man.
Yeah. Well, guys, come to the end of the show. Been going for 2 hours, 10 minutes. And before we go, John, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you, please, and what shows are coming up?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having us on, Tony. I'll shoot back again this afternoon at 4 o'clock for the match review show. And also, I'm going to get some fans to come on as well and have their say if they want to come and have their say. So I'm going to put a link up as well. So hopefully be me, hopefully you and Rory as well is going to come. And if you find us on John Sinclair TV on TikTok, Facebook, and also on YouTube. And if you want to find us on Insta, it's John Sinclair 50. And if you want to find us on Twitter, it's John_NUFC42. And if you follow us, I'll follow you years back. And also hit the subscribe button as John Sinclair TV. I've got over 4,000 subscribers. Thank you so much indeed, guys. I really appreciate that as well. And yeah, so it's all good. Thank you very much for having us on, Tony. I appreciate that.
And latest score in the match, it's now Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Dale Fry sent off in the 49th minute for a foul, gave a penalty away. Ross Stewart's penalty was saved by Stefan, the on-loan Man City goalkeeper, but he got it in on the rebound. So Sunderland are currently leading 10-man Middlesbrough 1-0 at the Stadium of Shite. And at this current moment in time, they're 9th in the table. So that's the latest score on that one, guys. Yeah, and then Steve said the same. Borough down to 10 men. Penton Mackems 1-0 at the Templar Plate. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mighty Max says, great show, guys. Thank you very much. Knight says, great show, all. Thank you again, mate. Nice to see you last night. And I Like Coffee says, 2 hours has passed so fast. Yep, certainly has. Time flies when you're having fun, as I say. June says, yeah, John, there's pictures of Adriano with an AK-47 and gold teeth, mate. He was my hero Inter. I wanted him so bad in the Premier League. Great show, Tony and John, says Chris.
Thanks.
Alec Coffee says, bye, Tony, John, and all. Great show. Looking forward to the next stream.
Thank you, I Like Coffee.
I mean, guys, tomorrow, well, yes, I will do a little bit of live, but I'll be doing a lot of pre-record tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going home tomorrow to Newcastle. I'm doing the stadium tour. So what I'll do when I'm doing the stadium tour, obviously I can't do it live, but what I will do is I'll take a lot of video footage of the stadium on the tour, various parts of it. I will put it together and I'll stick it on, and so you can watch it at your leisure. I'll probably do a live vlog when I get there. I'll just see, like, I'm outside the stadium now, ready to go and do the tour, so I'll probably do a little bit of a 5 to 10 minute vlog outside the stadium. So that'll be a live feed there. That'll be tomorrow. I'll probably do a vlog from Peterborough when I get to the train station as well. So I'm up there for the stadium tour, and then what I'll do is I'll put the rest together, and then I'll put it out there on YouTube for you to watch, and watch it at your leisure. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Other shows coming up. On Wednesday, I will be joined on the show. I'll have a special guest on the show on Wednesday. And in case you guys not sure who he is, this is the guy. It's Chris Dorby, who is the professional darts player from Bedlington. Got to the quarterfinals at Ali Pali. Unfortunately lost to Michael Van Gerwen, who happened to be on form that day. But he's a big Newcastle fan. Takes his son to the games as well. So I look forward to having Chris on Wednesday. So we'll ask him about his darts career. Also ask him about his love of Newcastle United. And guys, if you get questions for Chris on Wednesday, then please fire them in, and I'm sure Chris will do his best to answer any questions that you can give him. So there's your homework for the next few days. Just get yourself some questions together, and I'm sure Chris will be happy to answer them. But we look forward to seeing him on the show on Wednesday evening, and that'll be about 7:30 on Wednesday. But guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It does help the channel up the search results, and makes people find the channel more easily. Anybody who's never seen the channel will come across it once you smash them likes. Also, please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow. Also, bell notification tells you when I'm live or have any pre-records as well, and any upcoming shows. I mean, guys, I'm currently on 290 subscribers, so another couple of new subscribers during the show. Thank you very much for that indeed. Much appreciated. 10 away now from 300, so fantastic achievement. Didn't expect it by this time, to be fair, but channel's on the up, and that's the only way it can go, on the up. I Like Coffee says, we saw that one. Leslie says, off to start. Take care, everyone, and thanks. You too, Leslie. Thank you very much. And Gary says, great show, lads. Great to have you on board again, Gary. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining as well, John. And
thank you, Dolly.
Yeah, I'll have a quick word backstage here before you go.
Okay.
And but yeah, guys, thank you for coming on board today. And yes, we know it's been a bit of a long show today, but I think all in all, we're very happy. We've got the best English manager in the league, 15 matches unbeaten. The stats are there. The stats don't lie. He proves he's the best manager in the league, English manager, that is. And, Eddie Howe can take us on to further and better things as well. And I'm sure he will do. But as I say, guys, don't be too despondent or downhearted about getting a draw at Palace. Remember, Man U drew a Palace. So it's not to say that we were a bad team. We just didn't put our chances away. But it's one of those days. It's a frustrating game. Football can be a frustrating game sometimes. But keep the faith, guys. The only way is up, as Yazoo once said. Away the lads. And auf Wiedersehen. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye for now.